Yo, what is up? It is your boy. Uh Damn, I had an intro, but I forgot it. I ain't gonna lie. I had an intro, I forgot. It's all good. Today's interview is with none other than Matthew Tuck. I am telling you right now, bro, when you hear this man speak, it opens your mind. Honestly, you get mad at yourself for not like just thinking more. It's kind of crazy. No cap. Like I feel like damn, I've been wasting my time. Like it's insane, bro. So you do not want to miss out on this. If you are here, I do not want you to like or subscribe or whatever until you have actually watched slash listened to the interview and actually liked it. Because if you didn't like it, just don't like it. Don't subscribe. It's just that simple. You feel me? But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get right into the interview right now. All right, sounds good. Well, we can probably just go ahead and start.
Absolutely.
And
Hit me with those questions.
yes, sir. So we'll go with just give us a little intro. What's your name? Where you from? What do you do? That kind of stuff.
Uh, well, my name's Matthew Tuck. I'm now from Raleigh. And I don't know, I do a lot of things. I guess I do some music here and there, and I like to have fun with my friends. Just normal stuff, I guess. I care a lot about mental health. That's like something I'm really passionate about because I struggle with it, and I know a lot of people also struggle with it. So I really care about them. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much me.
Bet. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm definitely gonna ask you some questions on that.
All right.
But before we do that, I want to hear your origin story. How did you start when it comes to making music and stuff?
So I started when I was younger. I'd write songs for girls at my high school,
Okay.
and from there I kind of just messed around with it. I did some like DJing stuff, and then eventually, when I was around 21, was when I first really started to take it more seriously, and then just from there, I just started putting out more and more music, and I started networking and meeting really big friends, and just like really trying to get to know everybody in the entire lane, and just making as many friends as I possibly could. And I've met so many awesome ones, and that's just pretty much how I got started. It's just I've had that passion for music and helping people and connecting people, and this is my dream, and it's so cool that I'm able to live it every single day. Through the ups and the downs and the issues that it comes with. I'm still thankful to be able to live in a world where I can do that for a living.
When did you switch in terms of so now you speak on a lot about like mental health and stuff like that. When did that transition occur and why?
So I kind of wanted to talk about mental health earlier, but I was afraid of the taboos that it came with. And the last year, my mental health just got so bad that I just decided, screw it. I'm just going to put out the music I want to put out. And if it's too taboo, it's too taboo. But like, there's people that need to hear my story, and there's people who need to hear that I'm struggling because they need to hear that they're not the only one struggling. And so I'm willing to take the hits. Like, I'm willing to put out that I broke my sobriety publicly, for 40,000 people. I had huge artists telling me not to put my laundry out there and not to. And
Right.
they said it looked bad. And I told them, I don't care how it looks. This is me. I'm going to be honest. I want everybody else to know when I succeed. So I wanted them to know when I fail. Because when social media is toxic, because of how much you're only posting your wins, you're never posting your losses. And I want to be one of the first that starts posting my losses too. And so that was kind of the transition that I made to mental health is, like talking about those times where I was so upset that I wanted to kill myself, and like being honest with it instead of running from it, like actually leaning into it. And so that's kind of how I made that play.
Got it. Sounds good. And when would you say you started dealing with like the mental health situations?
Yeah, I've had ADHD my whole life. Kicked out of most classrooms, like even like Sunday school because I was talking too much. I'm a talker.
Right.
But it started getting worse in adulthood, and that's when I started getting the depression and the bipolar that came with that too. But that was when I really needed to get help, and the alcoholism and just like all of that stuff came later in life. But the ADHD has always been there. It's just it didn't lead me to so much depression in my younger life because I had enough to keep me active. But now that I'm older and I understand the world, my ADHD freaks out a little because there's a whole lot of bad stuff going on too that I'm aware of now. And as a kid, you know, you have that ignorance of thinking everything's great when everything's not. So
Right. And so, what do you do to? What are some things you do to better your mental health?
to better my mental health, well, the best thing for my mental health was honestly getting roommates. My mental health has been so much better. It's not even a competition since I've moved. And when I was on the retreat was one of the first times my mental health felt right. When I'm trying to get it under control, um, so I try to do these things, but I'm a hypocrite if I tell you I do them because I don't all the time, but I try to. When I eat, especially when I eat healthy, like when I eat, not even just not fast food, but when I get depressed, I stop eating, and I get malnourished, and that makes you even more depressed. And so, drinking lots of water and eating like 3 meals a day did a lot more for me than I mean, it just did a lot more for me than I realized. Right. I also don't recommend this, but I do smoke a little bit for my mental health, and I've been trying to speak up more about that as well. Just because I'm trying to be honest and I'm trying to be me, but that obviously comes with downfalls that makes my mental health worse at times too. So that's a dangerous game that I do play, but it is a dangerous game to be played. Um, I also found that speaking positivity is very powerful. Um, Basically, like when I shower, I normally I just thank God for all the cool opportunities, and if bad things happen, I still thank Him for the fact that it didn't get worse. And so that really helps my mental health. Like the positivity that you can manifest is real and it's very powerful, whether or not you believe that's spiritual and from God, or if that's psychological, or if you believe in some kind of other force out there. Maybe you just believe the universe works that way like karma does. But I believe speaking positivity is very real, and I believe karma is very real too. So I think those are things that I keep in mind when I want to be more mentally healthy, to stay away from the pessimism.
Gotcha. Speaking on the retreat, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to bring that up. So I know you told me this personally, right? But just for others to learn as well. What made you want to start doing these retreats?
Yeah. So at first it was just going to be me and my buds, because I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm tired of COVID screwing my mental health. I'm tired of not seeing people. I'll go 2 straight weeks without seeing another human being, and I'm tired of it. I was like, I'm done with COVID. It got to the point where, I told everybody we might get it if we go on a retreat. But to me, it was my mental health was more of a risk to my health than COVID was. So, I mean, just statistically, and, just where I was mentally was just so terrible. And so I just decided to, rage against the mainstream was kind of the theme we went for. And it was basically my way of like kind of saying no one can stop us from living our lives. Like not COVID, but just, just that no one can stop us from, like, the mainstream does their stuff. We can do our stuff too. And no one can stop us from being able to do it. And I wanted a place where people could talk about their mental health too. Like I always try to make that clear, and anytime I message people, like, this is a little bit for mental health, like, because we need to get away, and we're artists, and artists work better when they're together. And COVID's taken that from us, and again, this isn't a conversation about COVID, whether you like COVID or don't. I mean, obviously no one likes COVID, but if it's not about the regulations, it's just about the reality. And the reality was that COVID took that away from us. And so the retreats were a way to get it back with some people, so that way we could have fun and we could still like take a break and get our mental, like I've lost a lot of artist friends this year, and like and it's just like a way to be able to like just to be us for a little while, and to forget about politics, to forget about COVID, to forget about religion to an extent. Just have a little time. I mean, there's still religion talk, like healthy religion talk. Like there was no disagreements. I mean, like people had difference of opinion, but there was no negativity with that. So, putting 50 artists in a house and just dropping 15 grand on an Airbnb like that sounds crazy, but at the end of the day, I was like, no one's done this. Someone's got to. I'm going to do this. And, if it ends up sucking, it ends up sucking. But, it went so much better than any of us could have ever hoped going onto it. I signed my first artist. People got some of the biggest features of their lives. So anyway, yeah, that's why I wanted to do the artist retreats. I mean, really just a way that we could all bond and we could get away. And I know I've made my socials like all about the retreats lately because I'm trying to get it off the ground, but like I really do want to start having them all the time for anyone who wants to go to them in different cities, almost like touring. And we're going to start doing shows and stuff. And it's like, I'm tired of the underground. It's not getting big enough. The labels are done with the underground because, again, COVID's killed the music world a little. So, the labels don't have time for little guys. So if they ain't going to do something about it, I will. And maybe that's a little narcissistic, but I'm serious about it. Like I'm gonna help the whole underground come up because I'm tired of no one else doing it. And if I got to put my own music on pause for a couple months, I'm willing to.
Right. So I think that is a great segue to the next question. Is if money wasn't a factor, what are some of the things you'd like to do?
Well, so one of the things I'm already doing that money is a factor and is preventing me. But we're trying to get some loans is I'm going to buy apartment complexes and fill them with artists because artists have a hard time recording in complexes and artists are flaky. They want to move around a lot. They want to go from LA to whatever. So I want to buy a whole bunch of complexes across the country that exclusively works with artists. So that way, your next door neighbor is also a singer and then your other one's a producer and then the other one's a videographer. And there's just a bunch of other people. So that way you could constantly be recording because everybody would know going into it that the music's going to be loud all the time.
Right.
Like no noise complaint type things, and you're just going to have to get used to not sleeping as much if you want to live there. But that's one thing I'm working on. Once I have money, and if I had enough money, I just probably have 100 of those, complexes, like 2 in every single state. And, that way we could also have cheaper rent for them. And because again, artists struggle. And then, maybe there's ways that I could even find a way to like do free stuff for artists if they give me 10% of their masters or something. So like an incubator basically, where it's like they don't have the money up front, but they don't want to work, like they want to be working on music all day, but they don't have enough money to work on music all day. So, like I can give them that free place to stay and just take some on the back end, and that would help pay for the rent of the next people coming through that just don't have the money for it. I want to do a lot more YouTube stuff. Like I want to do a lot, like I jokingly say I'm the Mr. Beast of the music industry, but that's kind of the stuff I want to do where it's like, filling an entire arena, and playing Nerf, like with some of the biggest rappers, like, just fun things like that, like taking Drake to McDonald's and ordering everything on the menu. Like, I want to do some more influencer type stuff. And I just really want to entertain people, and I want to give them something to do. There's just not enough to do, and one of the problems with mental health is you need stuff to do to not remind you of your mental health stuff. You need to be out and active, and you need to be in your element. You need to have fun. And why does work have to be so much work? Why can't we have fun? Like we're gonna have fun. Like I can monetize having fun, so I'm gonna monetize having fun, and I'm gonna teach other people how to do the same thing. So that way, like my boy Brady in here, like. My buddy real estate agent. Oh, heck yeah, Brady. Like, but like my boy is like, he's so talented. And I want to get big enough that I have work for him, all year round. And if that's all he wants to do is just go with me from city to city doing these crazy things. And then he can build his own side career on top of that, doing his own thing, so he can just use me for the job just so he has some liquidity and he has the flights covered. And then he can be building himself basically for free once he goes to these cities and start networking. I want to start helping people out like that. I don't want to give them something. I want to give them something that they'll turn into something bigger. And, I'm done messing with artists. I'm done messing with producers. I'm done messing with anybody I don't see as getting bigger from what I give them. I'll get like a great example is Poetics, is one of my best friends. And I hooked him up with Snow and some of the bigger lo-fi guys. We played video games and stuff, and I made that connection for him because I was already playing video games, and he used that and he leveraged that to be able to get placements with them, placements with their friends, and he kept building that. And that's what I want to see. I don't want to see when I give a verse to someone for free just to help them out and they put a song out and then they're just like it doesn't do very well and they give up. You know,
Right.
like use my name to go leverage another artist to be on the track. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to help people who want to help themselves. And I'm happy that I inspire others to like do these artist retreats too. And like,
Right.
that's huge. But I want to
Yeah.
make sure that they also are willing to take it as far as I plan to take it, because, you know, like I have multi-level platinum artists coming out to some of these next ones, and like I want it to get bigger. You know, like I mean, you know, like MGK is probably coming on one soon. Like, that's the kind of stuff I want to bring to the table. And right now it's in the groundworks. You know, right now we're
Right.
still doing it, but it's just going to get bigger. And I just want to see other people doing the same. I want to see that same hunger, that same drive, you know, because like this is going to take off for us. And like at the end, like it honestly, it's just like at the end of the day, this underground is starting to suck. Like not talent wise, but number wise, we're not
Mhm.
putting points on the board as much as we used to be, and this is how I think we combat that until we can get back on tour. Because touring is what gets you the streams, and none of us have been
Right.
able to tour. I would have made 30 grand in 3 months with the tour that I had set up. I'm now not able to go on that tour, you know, and so it's just rough all around.
If you had the choice of one thing you can change in the music industry, what would it be?
I'd kill all the gatekeepers.
Mm, okay.
I'm tired of them. They're holding people back, and they don't know good music anymore. So, I think that now we have Instagram algorithms, we have Spotify algorithms, we have release radars, we have everything that we need to let the people decide what they damn want to hear for a change. We don't need to
Right.
hear what we're told to hear. We can decide that for ourselves with these algorithms, and the gatekeepers are just suppressing us. So, if I could do one thing, I'd probably just get rid of all the gatekeepers, mostly labels.
Yeah.
I think music can be freer. I think it's restricted right now, and that it's run by some elites that don't know what they're doing. To be completely honest with you, they don't understand streaming, and they don't understand like gaming. They don't understand. They just don't understand where the world's going. And I just think that that's the best way. If I could change one thing, I would just get rid of every single one of them. And maybe the second thing that I would do, I don't know if I would do this. I'd have to have some thought,
Hmm.
but I might consider removing followers and likes from every single platform for every single artist,
Mm.
and only show common connection.
Oh, interesting. That sounds interesting.
Yeah,
Hey,
make it a little bit.
you came up with that real quick. You must have like had that.
I have a
You
lot
must
of
have.
thoughts. Listen, I have a lot of thoughts. This music industry needs to change, and ain't nobody changing it, so Matthew Tuck's gonna have to.
Yes, sir. Oh, man, you came at me fast. I did not expect that.
Bro, making moves behind the scenes to make it happen. I'm willing to play the game, man. I think about this a lot.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we see that. It's fire though. All right. Well, we'll give the last question. What are some tips that you'll give artists trying to grow?
These change a lot. Like the tips for artist growth, the problem is how often they change. Networking is always my biggest recommendation because that's led to my success, but that's my strength. So,
Right.
you know, it is a hack to the system. I truly believe networking is the ultimate music hack. So, I think more people should do it, even if that's not their specific skill set. You know, like I've dominated the network, but and like also with networking, learn to build the network. Like if you want to make the network, you have to build the network. Like people think that you just are going to be handed it. Like you have to be the one to build it. If you aren't the one being invited to parties, then throw a party and
Mm,
invite everybody. You know, like that kind of stuff. Stop complaining that you ain't invited to a party you wanted to go to with some friends. You know, like fine,
right.
then you become the person to put the money up front. You pay for the party, and now you're automatically you built the network now. So now they're trying to come into your network instead of you trying to break into theirs. You switch the whole game. You know,
Right.
and just like when I do the Powfu stuff, like with the Call of Duty tournaments, with Powfu, and then some of the other stuff with like with these retreats and some of the bigger artists, and it's like I flip the game, so now the artists want to come to me instead of me having to constantly come to them. Now I
Right.
have the connections, now I have the clout and the leverage that I need, so now they're coming to ask me for a favor instead of me having to ask them for a favor. And that
Right.
means when I ask them for a favor, I'm much more likely to get it, you know,
Yep.
because I already provided value first. So that's probably my number one thing. Focus on the music is also super, super important and something I wish I did more often. Um, and then man, it's kind of like just be smart and creative. Just try to think of stuff that you wish you could see, you know, and sometimes you got to have a side hustle to be credible. You know, like I have to be known for a lot more than being an artist if I want to be successful. So I'm known as I'm known as the guy throwing retreats and throwing fun stuff and, you know, like hosting tournaments and like, I mean, there's a lot of big stuff that I have planned, and it's like stuff that a normal artist wouldn't do, but that's what's going to get me out there. That's what's people are going to be able to see this cool Matthew Tuck is having fun type stuff. And then they're going to want to be a part of that. And that's how, you know, like that's how I use them to be able to help me with the music side a little bit more. Because I have some of the most talented friends that I've ever met. You know, it's just absolutely astounding how talented they are and how much they're going to be able to help my sound. So that's pretty much my game plan for that. All right, great, bro. Well, thanks. Let's do this again sometime. I wish I had a little bit more time, but you know, haven't meant to blow you off for this long, but the move's been crazy, man, and like getting my life together has been crazier.
I imagine. No, you're good. You're good. Don't worry about it. For sure, we'll definitely have to do this sometime.
Absolutely, bro. I love you and appreciate you.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, I'll see you, G.
Take it easy. Yo, thank you so much for making it this far into the interview. I really appreciate it. If you made it this far, you a legend. No kizzy, you a legend. Like, that's it. Like, I'm going to hear stories of your adventures. That's how legendary you are. It's kind of crazy. Anyways, if you liked what you heard, what you saw, whatever, you know, don't forget to do all that liking and subscribing and all that stuff. And yeah, be freaking dope. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.